This is my first time doing a triple Instagram. Amy Goddess, where are you? I see you. I would like to add you in. All right. I'm so excited, you guys. We have our outline for what we want to talk about today. So we're going to get right to it. We're not into small talk and dilly-dally. It's not my style. So let's get into it. Okay, I'm going to tell you my questions. Amy Goddess, I think I will see you popping in any moment now. Let's see here. There you are. Okay, here we go. Hello, beautiful.
Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
Oh my gosh, it's going good. It's so good to see your beautiful face.
You too. It's been so long since we've been on live together.
I know, like 3 years, 2 years. What?
Yeah.
Okay. I do have our, questions lined up, and I think I just want to first just give you a big hug. My inner 9 is here, and she's like wants to hold hands and just be really joyous and happy and play around. So for those of you who are on this today, I think it's valuable to share that Amy and I, we've never met in person, and we came together just by listening to each other's voices, recognized each other, had this amazing heart explosive connection that is soul real, and partnered specifically for this book, and that has been it. So it's just one of those amazing, like, crossings of two comets, in the sky, and here we are doing this thing, really committed to this piece of our missions that collide and join forces. And Amy, I'm always just so happy to be in your presence. I love you, sister.
I love you too.
Do you want to just jump in? How are you doing? Do you want to say anything? How do you feel?
Yeah, I'd love to just jump in and just say, like, hello to all the priestesses who are watching right now, and I see names I recognize, and the priestesses who may watch on the replay, and just, talk about the energy that's happening right now and why this is this time is definitely different. I feel like this is what everything 2020 onward has been building up to.
Here.
Mm-hmm.
Can I share my agenda so that everyone knows what
Yes.
to look forward to? Okay, good. I have 6 questions for us to answer.
Okay.
And one of them involves dropping in with you, Amy, about forecasting around this pivotal time. So firstly, what do we want? And we can go out of order, but I'm just going to name them. What do we want people to know about this codex today? Because this was channeled in 2020, but it's absolutely pertinent to this pivotal time. That was laying the foundation for the first responders, right? And now we're here, evolved, and so many waves of women have come beyond, with us, right? But the divine directives have changed. And then secondly, what are our personal, Amy, I'd love to hear from you. What are your personal divine directives that you've received for your leadership, your role across 2025 and potentially beyond? And then next, what is one thing we want our circles, because they're different, to know as we embark upon this 2025, whatever, 4-year cycle, however long we think it's going to be, right? And then I want to jump into forecasting. We talked about the bifurcation, this great split in consciousness in the book, and it's here. It's been playing out. We're seeing it. Like, shit's getting real. Things are going down. Let's talk about it, right? And then I would love to hear from you, Amy, and I would love to share myself too about what is the current growth edge that you're walking right now, And then lastly, how can people spend more time with you? How can people spend more time with me? What are some current offerings we think will be really pertinent to this pivotal time, to this particular community of leaders? So those are my 6 items. How does this sound?
I just love how organized you are. I'm like, yay, a structure, a container to flow into. Amazing.
Yeah, babe. I think that's how we work so well. You bring the structure out of me. It's so delicious to build the structure for you to be the dragonfly playing in. It's like exquisite. And then in other parts of my world, I'm like, structure? What? Can you help me? What? I have no idea what's going on. I get it.
Yeah. So good. So which one should we start with?
Yeah, which one's lighting you up the most, babe?
What was the first one again? I think that was it.
What do you want people to know about this codex right now?
Oh yeah, it's so relevant right now. It feels more relevant than it did in 2020 when it came through. It really does. It feels like it had to come through, just like you said, for the first responders, just meaning those who were intended to receive it, including you and I. Like this, I mean, this was my first big channeling. All of this information was new news to me, all of it. And it opened up a floodgate that has not closed since, of just transmissions and rememberings very, very, very far back into our ancient history and very far ahead into the highest potential for our future. There are obviously many multiple potentials, but I'm kind of coded and wired to tap into the highest one and articulate it through the English language as best as I can in order to ground it into our consciousness, because we are the ones who manifest it. So
yes,
it feels like
I want to repeat that. We
okay.
are the ones who manifest the reality, the matrix, the details of our 3D experience.
Yes.
Good. Let's keep
totally
going.
So this codex feels more relevant right now than ever. I feel like so many people's archetypal consciousness is awakening and emerging, and we're going through this very interesting activation right now where it's sort of like we are remembering that we've been here for a flippin' long time, and we have been carrying these codes for a very long time. Each of us has been stewarding a little piece of the original template so that it would not be completely destroyed. And we decided to disseminate it amongst all of us so that it's almost like a safety measure, you know, so that if one person, for whatever reason, gets taken down by the illusion of this realm and the programming and the trauma we receive, their piece of the puzzle is just one piece of the puzzle.
Love that.
But we're all being like called to remember and really own it right now and bring it forward. And the big sort of like wall that we have to step past is our self-doubt and our fear, yes, and sort of that like gaslighting thing that we do to ourselves. Like, who am I? Can this really be real? Am I just full of it? Blah, blah. No, you're not full of it at all. You have something so important to contribute. You have a piece of the template, and we need it. Like, we have to assemble this puzzle together.
Yes.
What about you? What are your thoughts?
Okay, can you like help me flip into my mode out of interviewer mode?
Yeah. So Amron, in the women that you have been interfacing with, and the men too, of course, the conversations that you've been having, what do you want to say about this codex right now, at the beginning of 2025?
Oh, yes, sister. Thank you so much. Okay. Yes. There's so much churning right now. So much, in fact. This codex is so relevant to what's churning that we can play this game where you ask the book a very specific question. How do I release my pain? How do I solve this relationship struggle? How do I love myself more? How can I stop feeling this looped thought? Any question. I've played this game so many times now, and it's just astounding every freaking time. Open the book. Your answer will lie in the page. This is how exquisitely, pristinely channeled this book was. This is how living and alive this information is. This is living data in this codex. And what I want to say to you, priestess, any priestess listening right now, or priest, thank you, sacred brothers, is that whatever's churning for you right now is a microcosm of the macrocosm. As within, so without, as above, so below. Bring yourself to your awareness to really dive in and feel the lie. Access the truth beneath it. And know that you, on some grand soul beyond the soul level, created all of this. The chemtrails that I've been cursing for the last 6 weeks, right? I fucking participated in creating that. And as I take up the helm of that responsibility, I'm literally shifting out of the 3D old paradigm matrix and stepping into a new one in which I am in participation and have impact. This is how we create the 5D. This is how the new earth is built. This is how we're creating the next new reality. That I'll just drop that there, and that's what I want to share now. So thank you.
It's so good, and that's a theme that has really felt very important to me over the last, I don't know, I guess maybe 6 to 9 months, is really dissolving and resolving that perception of polarity within self, and releasing ourselves from that sort of matrix construct that there is this external thing that is separate from us that is causing devastation and hardship, while at the same time being able to acknowledge the impact of that illusion. Like it's a very real illusion in that it impacts us, but exactly, we are participating in it. We have ownership over it. We have responsibility.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good thing. We actually want it, even though we are cursing it.
Totally.
Do you want me to keep going?
Yes.
Okay. What personal directives have you received for your own leadership, your own role across 2025 and the foreseeable future?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to find Jade as you're answering that.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I feel like mine is the same as it always has been. It just feels more urgent, which is like, you can literally see in my birth chart that my soul purpose is to help people remember and align with their soul purpose, which is the acknowledgement that we each have a unique blueprint, and that blueprint is very important, and it is the directive that we should be living by. And we've, been subjected to or raised within, surrounded by programming that causes us to live by all these other weird arbitrary values, and at the expense of our soul blueprint. But our soul blueprint is everything. And so for me, it's helping people to recognize that, see their archetypes within themselves, see their magic, see the contribution that they're here to make, and figure out how to rise up into that. That's primarily it. And then to continue to channel about the future highest timeline that I see, so that we can actually connect with it and manifest it.
All right. Follow-up question. How, specifically, are you doing what you just said? Is it in the form of one-on-one sessions, small group activities, blah, blah, blah? And then the second was around the higher timeline. How are you calling that in or accessing it?
Okay. So the way that I'm doing the soul blueprint, soul purpose stuff is, it's a combination of one-to-one, but I'm always passionate about creating group experiences and figuring out how to make this information as accessible as possible to as many people as possible. So right now I've been creating this system where I basically decode 3 layers of birth charts and goes through the Akashic records and just get a very clear multidimensional picture of what what an individual is here to do within this incarnation. And I'm packaging it into a group experience right now.
Yeah. Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then the part 2 question about how I'm opening up to those future timelines and bringing it through. It's mostly through what I'm coded for, which is to be a stream of consciousness verbal channel. So I have my main podcast, Third Eye Awakening, where I bring some of this through, but I also have a second podcast, which is an energy report called The Living Oracle, Akashic Guidance for Ascending Souls. And I just attempt on a weekly basis. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, but I attempt to tune into the current energies and just pull through codes of like what's going on, what we're navigating, what the subtler nuances are, and what this is all about, and sort of dropping in little bits and pieces of where we're going, like why we're doing all this, and how basically how our technology works as well, our internal technology as timeline creators.
That sounds sexy AF.
So what directives are you receiving right now?
Okay, let's see here. My directives right now are around building communities, building safe spaces, building pods of people in their practice, building these sanctuaries for women to be in their psychic knowing, to develop their psychic advancement, to share their insights, to build each other up, to find their courage, to do their soul work. So for me, it's around supporting women in building their platform. So very specifically, business mentorship, business coaching, money mastery, magnetism, and money manifestation, and building these pools where people can cross-pollinate, hear themselves reflected in the insights and downloads of their sisters, and also connect and cross echo to each other the reinforcement that we so deeply need, that we would have gotten in these old priestess schools and mystery schools, where your channel is developing because you are in this protected environment to hone that skill. So this is what we're doing here.
I love that. It's so like the process of being witnessed is so essential. It's an essential ingredient. It's sort of like, unless we're witnessed and we have our gifts reflected back to us, it doesn't really, the cycle doesn't complete.
Yeah. We have to, we are, and we as a culture have already stripped ourselves of that from birth, you know. In traditional societies, every baby knows its role, has its name given to it, right? And we're missing so much of that here, getting lost, becoming listless, depressed, you know, feeling like you don't have value or purpose is endemic, and we got to fix that too. So yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you, sister. Okay, let's see here. Oh yeah, there was one other thing that I wanted to share on that same note, which will come in this, but just simply in supporting women with getting bigger, getting louder, trusting your codes more, knowing that your intuition is spot on, and really identifying that piece of the puzzle that you came in with. It's really important right now, or at least for me, one of my divine directives has been to bring the wares to market. It's one thing to grow the beautiful flowers, but it's another to bring the flowers to the market. People need to find your codes. People need to know that your art is out there, that your craft is available, that it exists. And so you've got to market yourself, however that needs to look for you. So bring your wares to market, be seen, make them available.
Totally.
Switching back, Amy, what is one thing you want our circles to know or to munch on as we embark upon the 2025 cycle? And I'm going to hybridize that with the next question, which is let's do a little forecasting into the future timelines, the future potentials. Let's start there. Of course, the word bifurcation comes up automatically. We're seeing the split. We're seeing the play out of the split.
Okay, well, the number one thing is that there's no the old timeline is gone. It's over. It's 222 here. It's like my reinforcement that I can safely say this. Okay. What it feels like to me, and I'm not meaning to be hyperbolic at all, this, I feel this so truly, is that we are at the same point of a line being drawn in the sand between, you could call it an era, but I slightly feel like Taylor Swift sort of ruined that word. But an era or an eon, in the same way that the presence of Christ, Mother Mary, and Mary Magdalene created a division between times. And we still, regardless of whether we believe in those codes that were brought through at that time or not, we still collectively measure our time based on that.
Yes.
We're here now.
Wow.
So there's no playing small. There is no playing small. It's not available. And the astrology of 2025 is very like it, we're being stripped down of the illusions that don't serve us. It's a very humbling process. We just completed the Mars retrograde. Mars stationed direct on February 23rd, but it's still in the sign of Cancer, kind of licking his wounds and really hoping that we don't just like, you know, tell ourselves like, oh, Mars is stationed direct now. Thank God I can continue with my wounded masculine bullshit of trying to push myself and drive and achieve and accomplish at the expense of my well-being and my relationships and my relationship to myself and my own emotions. Like Mars is the masculine who has been stripped down to the little baby where he received his initial patriarchal wound, and he wants us to honor him moving forward. And Venus is in the process of getting ready to station retrograde on March 1st. So right here, we're seeing a huge rebalancing of the masculine and feminine energies within us and the relationship they have with each other. But also every major planet is changing signs this year. Some of them will still retrograde back into their old signs, but we're like, this isn't something that commonly occurs where, you know, all like Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto all change signs in the same 6-month period. And then we deal with a bunch of retrogrades on top of it. This is a really big deal. Things are really, truly changing. And so let the cosmic dance strip you of the illusions that you have of yourself as small and insignificant, and let it be replaced by this deep knowing of your intrinsic worth, your wisdom, the value of the codes that you carry, and the contribution that you're here to make. If you're listening to Amron and I, you are not here by accident, and you're not here to be a broken muggle in a matrix. You're here to be the powerful eternal being of light, the guardian of this earth realm that you are. Probably somebody who walked through one of the original stargates eons ago. Woo! And you are here to participate in the restoration of the original divine template now.
No big deal.
No big whoop.
Wow, girl. Wow. Yes. 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 Wow. Damn, girl. Damn. Okay. Eon, era, age came through. This is a new time. We can't play small anymore. I think everyone's feeling the stripping away happening. Isn't fun if you're resisting it. And it's sometimes really still not fun, even if you aren't resisting it.
Totally.
I want to commend all of us who are conscious of the shit that's coming out and off. And let's keep trucking, right? I'm here as a trucker. leading the yeah, just the journeys. I just see journeys across deserts, you know. We're here to journey. Let's go. We know we're going to make it on the other side, to the other side. Let's just keep moving. Let's just keep moving. Let's just keep moving. And that we're here as the way showers, as the ones who are here to go first. And on a lot of levels, it really means that we see it, we feel it before everyone else. And it feels like we're the only ones doing the work half the time.
Yeah. That's so true. And it can feel also, it can feel almost like because we're doing it first, it almost feels like old, or it almost makes it easier to gaslight yourself in a way, as though like, well, if nobody else is feeling this, or not as many other people are feeling this, like, is it even real, or is it coming? But like, we're actually here now. We're in the dividing line between two
Yes.
eons.
Yes. Yet another reason to find your safe spaces in your communities, because you need people who can echo that back to you and reinforce that awareness. Amy, you know what's funny? I can't even remember what all you said, but I feel it in my body. What I wrote in answer to that very question was, top of the line in all caps, it is time. Get bigger, be louder, trust yourself, trust your truth, trust your magic, trust your codes. Anyone can say those words, but I hope when you hear me say it, you feel it. There's a resonance to this. You are here on purpose. The downloads you are bringing through are to come through your filter. The work you're doing is having massive, massive impact. And I'm literally seeing it affecting the past.
Totally.
We're here with big medicine. We're here with big tools. We're here with big capability. And the fears are illusions that, again, on that high, ultra high soul level place, we chose to put on as veils, blinders, for this play out, so that it could be that much more fun. You know, it really depends on the level at which you're looking at this, right? You can see it from the vantage point of the human, the vantage point of the just the soul, the oversoul, right? The God source aspect. There are so many versions of this very dramatic soap opera story playing out. You can see it from the Earth's soul journey itself, right? So I am hopping around, but I really want to just convey that element of responsibility and like the ability to broaden our awareness, broaden our consciousness, as if you're seeing like the entire Earth plane in the purview of your eyes, so that you can take up the energy of that and be involved through your consciousness, through your awareness. That's how we shift the timelines. That's literally how we create this almost gravitational pull from here, so that we're lassoing things and shifting the play out. It's also how we get out of linear 3D time. It's not past, then present, then future. It's all happening now. So we get to access all of it and impact the past, the future, here, right here. Cool. I think that completes what I had on that. You want to do any forecasting, Amy? I feel like this is something you do really beautifully.
Sure. And I just want to say too that we also we chose to come into this environment where we would be veiled from ourselves, and we would have a very humbled human experience, because number one, that is how the change is made. It's made through the embodied experience of being a human. So when you take inventory of your life and all the ways that you don't feel enough, you may feel inadequate, you may feel that that large presence of self-doubt, and you wonder if you actually could be part of this, if you actually have magic, if you actually have codes inside of you. All of that is present because the process of choosing to believe in yourself in every single moment is the way that we alchemize the situation that we find ourselves in here on Earth. The last time that we came in through the stargates as star beings, it didn't go so well. It sort of resulted in the mess that we are in now. So we can't have just come in like, you know, from on high, on clouds, floating in, completely self-actualized, born into complete confidence, and then transmit these messages to all the other human beings that are here that don't have this understanding of themselves. They wouldn't hear us, they wouldn't understand us, they wouldn't receive it, it would all get out of balance, which is exactly what happened. We had to come in as humans through a very humbled experience with all of our flaws and all of our imperfections, and continuously choose to believe in ourselves and our magic over and over and over. That's how we shift the timelines. But the long forecast that I see of the highest timeline is right now we have this beautiful, unprecedented window of availability. And I really genuinely believe that this is where we're going. I don't have fear that it won't work. But I know that others see other timelines, and I want to acknowledge that too. But I see this timeline wherein we are able to get past the hump that we're in right now. Right now, we're in that, if you've seen Moana or if you've seen Castaway, and they're trying to get beyond the edge of the, what's it called? It's not a lagoon, but you know, it's the reef, like beyond the edge of the reef. And there's this big wave that they always hit, and it would crash them back. It would ruin their little boat, their little raft that they had created. And they had to get clever and figure out how to get past that one wave. And then they were out on the open ocean. That's sort of where we are right now. So it feels like there are so many obstacles against us, and, you know, late stage capitalism and climate change, and like rife with political division, and, you know, AI, robots taking over, all kinds of things that are present that can make us feel as though it's just going to hell in a handbasket. But those are all external distractions, and the power always lies within. And so within ourselves, we are figuring out how to overcome that one big wave of self-doubt that keeps crashing us back. When we, through our individual efforts, when a whole bunch of us overcome that wave at the same time, we carry the rest of humanity on a quantum leap beyond that wave. And on the other side of that wave is the restoration of our original technology and the way that we are equipped to create here on Earth, which is like, I mean, we can barely fathom it. When I describe it, it sounds like pure fantasy, but I've seen it so many times with such precise crystal clarity that it doesn't feel fantastical at all. So,
can I pause?
Yes.
Who is feeling chills right now as Amy's speaking? I mean, you can see my goosebumps right here. There's so much resonance within me. Thank you for the way you've worded this. Side note, Amy, we've always joked that we're like completely diabolically opposed on the astrology sides. I see Lunation Live here, our original astrologer who like showed us our, right? Everything you're saying about overcoming self-doubt, I'm hearing it on a cosmic galactic, right? Beyond human scale. And it's hitting me because this is what I'm here standing for on the very human, very 3D, even matter and material scale, right? So I'm getting such like soul validation that we're doing the same things on two different holographic levels. So thank you for these words. It's just hitting me in a different way than before. Thank you. Yeah. I really want you to paint this picture because I know powerfully that as we all tune in with our attention to what you're about to say, painting the highest timeline and leaving any bullshit out of it, we are magnifying and really drawing that forward and creating that reality even more. So bring it, sister.
Okay. So we each feel resonance with a specific spot on Earth that we are a particular guardian of. A lot of us are having our grid worker sort of aspects activated right now. When the time is right, and this is not a mental activity, so you might speculate as I'm speaking, but ultimately it's a heart and body resonance. When the time is right, it feels to me that we will all be called to our correct place on the earth, and communities will begin to form there. There are these powerful, I guess you could call them grid points, but that doesn't even feel accurate. Like maybe earth chakras, I don't know. They're just these energy points on the earth, and we each have like a frequency that matches the specific one that we're coded to, and we'll sort of, humanity will rearrange itself. It will be very peaceful and it will feel right. Families will not be torn asunder. It will all be very harmonized, where we get instinctively drawn to the place on earth that we truly belong, and it will feel like this incredible homecoming, and we will be sort of reunited with the others that are coded to that place as well. And then we sort of assemble ourselves in these groups and these communities that are all, we all face each other like a circle, and then we start to through various activities, toning, dancing, like things that carry us into a trance and harmonize our energies together, we begin to create and emanate these pulsating, like geometric cymatic energy patterns off of ourselves that essentially become like the template or the grid that our communities and our structures form around, and we build based on that. Like when we look at those temples, you know, all those temples that exist around the world, where archaeologists will be like, oh, like how did humans have the technology to do that back then? It was through these means, where we don't have to build with like a hammer and chisel, so to speak, or cranes or whatever drills. We modulate our collective energy and sort of bounce it off of the physical material that we want to use, and it becomes temporary, sort of like plasma. Like it sort of reminds me of something you said once about melting down the hard candy and then letting it like, and allowing it to reform itself and recrystallize. Like that's what we do energetically, and we just create these beautiful structures and communities. Like the way that we create is so different from the way that we've been taught we need to create. The way that we elicit sustenance from the earth, it's almost like we give to her as an offering our energy, our, it's like it's almost like a form of worship, but not religious. But it's like we give her our voices, we give her our movements. There's an element of I don't know, this kind of takes it sometimes into a weird place, but it's very pure. There's an element of like a sexual coming together of soulmate unions as well that creates these beautiful templates, and we offer it to her, and she yields this crazy abundant bounty back to us of like food and material and sustenance, the things that we need. And there's this complete cohesion, and life on earth is so, it's just so beautiful and so exalted. It's very difficult to understand fully based on what we've been required to live in our whole lives in this mortal form, but it's truly available. It's not even it doesn't feel that distant. It's our own limitations, our own programming that makes it distant.
How is this landing, goddesses? Yes, Amy. Yes. I have seen these cymatics, and I have seen these material forms turn into plasma. This is the it feels very shamanic. It feels like what we're experiencing in these other dimensions when we are in these altered states of consciousness, but they do happen here on this plane. They just look like glitches, and they feel very dissonant with the, again, linear time-space continuum that we're taught. So I am loving this picture that you have so beautifully painted, and I want to just acknowledge everyone who's typing into the chat here. People are feeling the migration happening. I see Heidi mentioning learning French, Wild Rose Reiki. I see Crystal and Renee. I want to acknowledge you for just popping in. You have our book and you don't follow us. Yes, sister, welcome. Oh, this is so beautiful, sister. Welcome, everybody. This is so epic. I'd like to just take a hot moment on the heels of that exquisite download from Amy, calling in the cymatic encoding of that, calling in that elaborate, beautiful crystalline geometry, acknowledging the plasma phase that all elements can take. It is an energetic state of being. We get to summon that energetic state of being in our bodies and in our DNA. I believe that our crystalline DNA and our energetic beyond human DNA is actually crossing into these dimensional realities in that same way. This is how spontaneous healing happens in the body. Thank you all, sisters. We are the ones. Let's go. Shall we continue?
Yeah.
All right. So the next question is, what is a current growth edge that you and I are currently walking in our human forms, our human ascension processes here?
Well, I'm very human, very human. So my growth edge is I feel like earlier this month I received a complete memory of who I am, and I'm on a like every single morning I'm integrating it. Every single morning I'm meditating on it. It's sort of the realization of how big I am, and not, that bigness is not big over anyone else. It's just big in its own right. And working beyond that wave myself, like every day, just like soaking this in and resonating with it and repeating a mantra to myself to integrate this identity. And then on the external level, there are a lot of things that are coming up that are causing me to then appropriately have to reevaluate what I'm willing to settle for and what I'm not willing to settle for, with the understanding of my true identity. And, the importance of coming into alignment and congruence with that myself. So that's really my growth edge, and also getting over all my own shit that has kept me small. Like, I just made my energy report podcast public. Before it was free, but it was like my lead magnet. Like, you have to sign up via email. And I had this story to myself that, like, there are enough energy reports out there and that I don't need to crowd the space. And this year I was just like, get over yourself, Amy. Just put it out there. Like, just put it out in the world and get over all of your stuff that makes you play a smaller game than you're here to play. And, on all those levels. So on a daily basis, I mean, that is just the nitty gritty of my growth edges, is letting myself be big and letting myself be impactful, and just releasing any perception that means I'm taking up too much space, or I'm crowding anybody out, or I'm causing any kind of harm with it. And also, I'm a 2-5 in human design, which means I receive double projections. 2 receives projections and 5 receives projections. And that can be really hard to have people project onto you. Not that I don't project onto anybody, but it can be challenging. And so one of my growth edges this year is to just let people project on me, and just be like, it's what I'm coded for. Project away. It's okay. I'll be fine. Like, work through your shadow shit as you project onto me. It's all good. I love you.
Here,
See you on the
arm.
other side. Yeah. How about you? What are your human growth edges?
Wow. When you talked about the pure form of sexual union, or sexual, what's the word I want to use? There's a word that means harmony with Earth herself. That really spoke to me, because I've received that in various forms, and that's what I'm working with right now, within my own body, my own psyche, my own ascension work. And it's heart work, and it's requiring this great shedding of all of the lies that I have attached to about who I am, who I get to be, about the appropriateness of my my love, and I mean love in all the permutations, from my 9-year-old giddy little girl love to my professional patient physician connection love to my partnership love, all the love as a mom. And so my practice for the last several months, probably 2 years now, has really been around the heart and letting the bigness of my love all the way out, and not fearing that I'm the bull in the china shop, and letting it be okay that maybe I'm the only one in hooves and everyone else is in ballet shoes, you know? And letting my like cacophonous nature of whatever it is, it's just the various permutations of love, you know, laughter, you know, the funny sounds that I seem to be making that I can't even hear anymore, and like my very buzzing, like, you know, like energy, you know, like, let's go, you know, letting that just be the way I freaking am, and letting the bigness of the codes that brings be, and letting it not be my problem or my issue to go and clean up after myself. It's really, really tender. It's really present, and I'm here for it. And I show up for this because I feel the relief on the other side every time that I do. And I can naturally see the greatness, the bigness, the magnificence, like with my whole heart, in the women who are drawn to me. And I can only, you know, buff that gem and shine you up and exalt your glory in so far as I can do it for myself and allow for myself. So this is what I'm doing, and I'm actually interfacing with the sacred masculine elements within myself greatly, because that's typically what I fashion forward, and without, and I'm bringing, I'm in a season of beautiful connection with the masculine element in human form, outside of myself, and it's this tremendous alchemy and transformation, and like I call them sessions. It's a lot of therapy happening, and it's really exquisite and earth-shattering, and it's a wild ride, and I love to talk about it. So just ask me if anybody wants to hear more, because it's like, you know, the gong to the head epic for me. So that's my leading edge right now.
I just feel that so much, the hugeness of that work of letting your big heart and your expression of love be just completely accepted and acceptable, and not second guessing her. I love your 9-year-old giddy love self.
I love your natural mother. She's holding me, and it's really beautiful. Thanks.
This is the work, isn't it?
Yeah, and it gets to feel really good, even as it feels really like unsettling and new and churning.
Mm-hmm.
I know on a soul level that every time I get stung by the bee of like rejection or whatever, it's like delicious for my soul. So I'm always laughing at the both and, you know. You guys want to go to the next one? The last question?
Let's do it.
The final question is, current offerings you feel our community would benefit from or would want to know about, or maybe, just that would be good for us to cross-pollinate within our spaces.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this year in January, I opened the doors to an ongoing container called the Akashic Keys Mystery School because I really just needed one place to continue to drop all these codes that are coming through me. So there, it's the space for everybody who resonates with sort of what I was describing about the original template and the awakening of our archetypal aspects, the star beings coming through the stargates, understandings of our ancient history through multiple dimensions, um, Lemuria, Atlantis, dragons, angelics. I just needed one place to house it all
Yes.
and to invite in those who desire to hear about it. My spaces are always co-ed. It's just part of what I'm coded for is to hold co-ed spaces. So everybody is welcome to join that. And yeah, you just reach out to me if you want to learn more about it. And then otherwise, I do private work. And like I said, that group container that I'm currently like, I'm launching a beta round
Ooh.
next week. Yeah.
Oh,
March, the middle of the first week of March. I've got the doors open for 4 days to join a beta round. It's called the Soul Purpose Incubator.
ooh, yeah.
Super affordable, and it's where I take you through those 3 layers of your birth chart. So the tropical birth chart, the sidereal birth chart, and the draconic birth chart. And the key points that I see that give me so much information about a soul's purpose, like your purpose, that's still the most popular question I get when I do private Akashic readings is what is my soul purpose? And then probably the next one is what are my archetypes? Those are the two biggest questions that I get, because we can feel that we're here for a reason. Our incarnation has purpose, and it feels so disconcerting to not know what that is. And it feels glorious when you finally figure it out and you align with it. There's just nothing like it. So
Mm,
that's a group experience that is opening up very shortly.
yes. Let's shortcut get to that purpose, guys. Get to the soul mission. And once you feel like you have your soul mission, if you're ready to build your platform, that's where I come in. Call me. I'm here working in the realm of money, manifestation, co creation, magnetism. So, this is balancing your own inner feminine and masculine elements in all of the ways. My latest offering, I really feel called to share this right now. It's called Sex, Money, Majesty. I downloaded the outline, but it is a semi-private experience because it is very much attuning to what your guides are showing us we need to be doing, whether it's movement, whether it's meditation, whether it's nervous system regulation, all getting us again to detach, disconnect from that linear 3D matrix into this I think and therefore I am matrix, this other matrix. What else do I want to share? The leader's circle, hands down. This is my, what do I want to say? This is my catch all for empowering, for women who are empowering themselves. When I say empowering women, I mean women who are self empowering and who want to co empower. This is a space for spiritually attuned women to be in your channel, to download and share and speak what you know, to practice developing your awareness and to really flex your mastery. So it's a WhatsApp group. It's more of a platform and a lounge sanctuary space than anything. It's not a course, and I'm so excited about that. And we have different threads about different material, different topics from cosmic and galactic to love, sex, and money, to follow the money and the systems so that we can see what's going down as far as politics and the systems at play, geopolitical warfare, etc. Like, we're covering it all because we are multi-dimensional beings. We are thinking, multi-functioning humans who are scanning the whole landscape. We are seeing so many things, and we want to put in on certain issues, and we want to just simply receive passively on others. And we all want to access the higher timelines. So that's what we have in common. We all see ourselves as leaders. We all see ourselves as stepping out of the status quo in some way, shape, or form. So check out the Leader Circle. It is super accessible financially. I'm really excited about it. I have 2 tiers there. And I'm offering free sessions, one-on-one, once a quarter for the tier 2. So check out my link in my bio for that. That feels really good. I think that's all that I really want to share here. You can see my links in my bio for anything else. It is time. If you feel that it is time to build your platform, if you feel like you are accessing your blind spots and you want to, again, melt them down like the hard candy, right, and let them reform, this is the space, and it feels really, really good to serve in this way. I'm here to walk with leaders, and I'm really here to see these massive waves of women empowering each other and stepping forward and taking our rightful place as leaders. We are guardians of the masses. All right. Amy, it's been nothing short of exquisite. I love being with you. I'm already
I love you,
scheming how
sister.
to do more.
Yeah, totally. I love you. And I love all of you who are here watching live, and all of you who watch the replay later on. Just so glad we're all here doing this together. So grateful that we can be together.
Yes, sisters. Let's go. Let's go. All right, everyone. Have a beautiful day. I'm going to scan the chat with love.
Mm.
Bye.
Bye.